All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into something that might seem really simple at first glance.
Uh-huh.
Just a handful of search queries, but you know how we do things here.
Yeah, we like to go deep.
We like to peel back the layers and see what we can learn about, really about what people are looking for.
Right, like what's the story behind those searches?
Exactly. So we've got weather, just plain and simple.
Okay, cloud.
Then we see severe weather outlook popping up.
Get a little more specific there.
And then finally zeroing in Washington, D.C. weather.
Interesting combo.
So what's the mission for us today? What are we trying to figure out? I think it's really about understanding the intent behind these searches. Like, what kind of weather information is someone actually seeking when they type these things in?
Yeah, and how does the journey from that first, very general weather search
Right.
lead them to something so much more targeted, like severe weather in a specific location?
It's like a funnel, right? Like
Yeah.
starting broad and then narrowing down as they get closer to what they need.
Totally. And that narrowing down process, I think that's where things get really interesting.
So let's start with that first search term, weather. Just the word weather. I mean, what do you think is going through someone's mind when that's their starting point?
I'd say it's probably a pretty basic level of curiosity, just kind of checking in with the atmosphere.
Like, what's going on out there?
Exactly. Maybe they're thinking about what to wear that day or if they need an umbrella, but it's not necessarily an urgent need at that point.
It's like dipping their toe in the water before jumping into the pool.
Yeah, good analogy.
But then things take a turn, right? We go from weather to severe weather outlook. And that word severe, that really jumps out at me. What do you make of that shift?
Oh, yeah, that's where the mindset definitely changes. It's no longer just casual curiosity.
Right.
It suggests a concern about potential hazards, maybe even a sense of urgency to get information.
Like this is about safety now, not just comfort.
Exactly. It's like, okay, I need to know if there's anything I should be worried about.
And then we layer on that location, Washington, D.C. weather. Why is that so significant in your opinion?
Because it grounds the concern.
Right.
Severe weather outlook on its own is pretty broad. It could be anywhere.
It's abstract.
Exactly. But by adding Washington, D.C., it suddenly becomes very personal.
Like, oh, this could affect me directly.
Right. It implies a connection to the place, whether they live there, work there, or have loved ones there.
It's no longer just a theoretical threat. It's potentially hitting close to home.
And I think it's interesting to consider the different scenarios that might be driving those searches.
Yeah, what are some possibilities that come to mind?
Well, maybe they heard a news report about a storm heading towards D.C., and they're looking for confirmation or more details.
Oh, that makes sense.
Or perhaps they have outdoor plans, a
Yeah.
picnic, a concert, whatever, and they want to know if they need to make backup arrangements.
Right. Or maybe they're responsible for someone who's vulnerable to severe weather, like an elderly relative or a child.
Exactly. So the addition of Washington, D.C., it's not just about location, it's about personalizing the risk.
Right. And that's a key takeaway for our listeners, right? These searches together, they tell a story about someone moving from general awareness to a very specific need for potentially critical information.
Absolutely, and I think it reflects a broader pattern in how we use search engines.
How so?
Well, we're constantly trying to understand and navigate the risks in our environment, and weather is a huge plus to that.
Yeah, especially with climate change and extreme weather events becoming more common.
Right. So we rely on these tools to give us the information we need to make informed decisions to stay safe and to protect the people we care about.
So we're not just checking the temperature anymore. We're trying to stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. And that's a powerful shift in how we think about weather information.
Now, here's something for everyone listening to ponder with all this real-time localized weather data at our fingertips.
Yeah, it's incredible what we have access to now.
Yeah. Do you think it's making us more prepared or maybe more anxious about the weather? Because on one hand, we can know so much more in advance. But on the other hand, does that constant stream of information also fuel our worries?
That's a really good question. And I don't think there's an easy answer. It probably varies from person to person.
Right, but it's definitely something to think about how this access to information is changing our relationship with the weather, both practically and emotionally.
Food for thought, for sure.
Well said. Thanks for diving deep with us today.
My pleasure.
And for everyone listening, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay safe out there.